Tim, I know that as part of your detailed law firm assessment process, you look at how law firms are handling case costs. And from an accounting perspective, what's the best way for law firms to handle client case costs?
I'm going to give you my opinion, and my opinion happens to go along with what IRS guidelines are, which is the costs or dollars that are expended toward a client's case. The IRS looks at it as if you're loaning that money to that client. And I know that if the case doesn't resolve, you won't get that money back, but the IRS says that is a loan. So what that means in accounting terms is that it is not a current tax deduction for your firm when you invest money in your cases, because it's an investment. It's not an expense. So we want to do it that way because if we did it the other way, where we expensed those investments in client cost, we would have a bloated expense item on our financial statement that would possibly make our bottom line smaller, which would tend to make one think the firm is not doing well, when in fact it's the exact opposite. You've invested money into those cases, and we expect to get not only that money back, but a return on that money. So handling those case costs as properly as a loan to your client, we 100% back. And I'll take it a step further. If you really think of it this way, if the firm is investing its own money into those case costs, and remember, we're not deducting those costs, and we're in a growth mode, that can cause a real tax problem, because we're expending money, but we're not getting a tax deduction for it. So our bottom line is bigger, which is right, but we've used that money elsewhere, so we don't have cash. Okay. A lot of times the best thing to do with that situation is to actually borrow that money, finance the case cost. And in most states, you can pass the interest on that along to the client as a case cost. So it's really a push or a wash for the law firms. Again, through our assessment process, we get a chance to see how the firms are handling those cases, whether they're expensing it or carrying it on the balance sheet as a receivable. And I don't want to get too technical here, but once we understand how they're handling it, we can give them good advice. Hey, you've got X number of dollars tied up, your working capital tied up in this money you've expended in cases. What if you had that amount of money in your firm as working capital to possibly hire more team members, to provide more training, to get more equipment, whatever it is to facilitate the efficiency and effectiveness of the process, should be what, in our opinion, they should be looking at. And it's individual, again, depends on where the firm is when we get there. But generally, those case costs are a very sensitive area, and we look at them very quickly when we get into firms.